Well, it is indeed, as truth has things, that I attended the Brighton Toy Museum on Saturday of the 2nd of March 2024, and certainly was it indeed an enchanted event when I went. And which was and in less than 3 weeks, on the 23rd of March 2024, it will be the Brighton Toy Museum Model Rail event, which is something indeed to positively look forward to. But this video regarding over the Brighton Toy Museum, that is, from when I last went on the 2nd of March 2024, this one represents the Imagery Picture View slideshow video of the Brighton Toy Museum event itself. No, not the Brighton Toy Museum event, Brighton Toy Museum in its full entirety in itself, not the event, because the event is not until the 23rd of March of 2024. But, yes, and all the rest of things. And for those of you who are ready to see the Imagery Picture View slideshow video, but before we get into that, I certainly do recommend the Brighton Toy Museum. For those of you who live far and wide, certainly quite a great deal further away from the Brighton and Hove region, I would certainly, if you ever wanted to come over to Brighton for a weekend in your own leisure time, or if you've got a nice holiday booked and you don't know what to do, I'd certainly recommend you do it either Brighton or anywhere in the South Downs or the East Sussex County, or if you're ever staying on holiday in the Sussex counties, be that of East Sussex or the South Downs of West Sussex. I'd definitely, if you're over, I would definitely recommend heading over to the Brighton Toy Museum if you're over on holiday in the Sussex counties. Of course I would recommend the Brighton Toy Museum, which is opened Tuesdays to Saturdays. And indeed would I be thoroughly issuing out the recommendation of going there. It's well worth attending to. There's certainly much to see, even if it's a small museum. There's certainly much to offer and much to see from the experiences from me personally attending, having every time I go. It's always a wonderful experience. Certainly do I relish the thrill in attending the Brighton Toy Museum, and certainly do I believe, well, I'll leave it for you to decide if you were, say, to make the decision to go to the Sussex counties on holiday, and then whilst if you say on holiday in the Sussex counties and just decided to happen to go to the Brighton Toy Museum, I'll leave it for you to decide, for you to decide and to make your very own personal review of your experiences of the Brighton Toy Museum. That's if you wanted to go. But it's not for everybody, but it's just a suggesting recommendation. I'm not saying that one should go there, I'm just making a suggesting recommendation, that's all. The upside is that the Brighton Toy Museum is open. Certainly is it open when there are no classic car running events or vintage rally or vintage vehicular events or miniature railways running and all that. That's the upside, you know. And also another upside is that you wouldn't have the trouble of having to clamber inside and out of a small classic car if you've overshot the 5'6" range in height, you know, because classic cars are not necessarily built for people over a certain height, as I've said a very great many times before. Certainly in my case of being 5'8" and 11 stone, or 70 kilos, and size 8 feet, or 9 US, or EU 42 feet, that is, in the men's, I'm not exactly small, and not really the most ideal fit for small classic cars, but never mind. Certainly if one's taller than that of my height, they would almost certainly very likely be experiencing similar things and would probably either share something the same or slightly different, but fairly similar, but depends on the person's experiences, you know. But that was completely irrelevant. But I don't think there's really a downside to Brighton Toy Museum. I think the only downside is that it could have done with being bigger, but I'm happy with it. I'm more than happy with the Brighton Toy Museum. And without further ado, let's see the video of the Imagery Picture View slideshow video in itself rolling into action. Thanks everybody indeed for watching. Not only would I be issuing out the suggesting recommendation to the Brighton Toy Museum to each and every one of you who lives up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom in its very entirety, but I'd certainly be recommending it to other foreign tourists who live around the length and breadth of our global planet of Earth. Certainly would I indeed be issuing out this suggesting recommendation to everybody, each and every one of you from around the world. Indeed so. Thanks all indeed for watching, and before the video is ended, the Brighton Toy Museum generally hosts 2 events every year. You can always check their website for events they may be providing and all that, because it would certainly say in the news. It would certainly represent the model rail events for whenever they decide to do one. Just to say, I'll link their website in the description below and also tell you their opening hours and things. Thanks all indeed for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the very next video. Ta-ta, another time. And indeed would I be providing these, and indeed do I believe, should the Brighton Toy Museum be thoroughly, largely recommended. I certainly believe so indeed. Thanks all for watching, and ta-ta another time. From Foxy.